Good morning, everyone. Today I would like to share with everyone what is the Four Noble Truths. After Buddha Sakyamuni enlightenment, the first time of he turning the Dharma wheel was Four Noble Truths. At that time, he has 5 disciples follow him. Once the Buddha attained his Buddhahood, he realized entire space and the universe, the circle of life, is full with impermanence. So the Four Noble Truths clearly describe why we have the suffering and how we can remove the suffering and how we can attain our final state of our mind, free of the suffering, attain the Buddhahood. So the first noble truth is the suffering. The second, cause of suffering. The third noble truth is resolve the cause of suffering by practicing. The fourth, a path of self-liberation, enlightenment path. So let me just briefly explain the suffering. According to the Buddhist philosophy, Buddha told us suffering have 3 different types of the suffering. The permanent suffering, the suffering of losing the loved one. The third is suffering of being in samsara. So this is very easy to understand. When we have something painful in our life, the quality of this suffering actually is the suffering. But another side that say, if we have a great business, making a lot of good money out of that, have good family, but because of impermanence, the business can be failure, then it can cause a lot of suffering of this look like a great ultimate happiness, but it's because of impermanence, the happiness can become suffering. So this kind of suffering, we say, suffering from the happiness. The third is a permanent suffering. We say the suffering being the samsara is where we are right now. This impermanent and the uncertainty of rebirth also is one type of suffering. So the suffering caused by what? Buddha continued to explain. The cause of suffering is our 3 major mind poison. Our greedy mind, anger, ignorance. Ignorance caused by unknown, the true wise teaching, doesn't know how to judge whether to do or not to do. So these 3 poison is the cause of the suffering. And how to actually remove all the suffering in the samsara, the suffering as we are having right now. We need to practice Buddha Dharma. We need to learn the great wisdom from Buddha, from Bodhisattvas, from great teachers. Because learning all of this Dharma teaching can help us to reduce amount of our self-attachment, desire, anger, ignorance. So suffering, cause of suffering, how to remove the suffering. The final noble truth is the path of the enlightenment, which is a way leading us, taking us to enlightenment. So that is a brief introduction about Four Noble Truths. The first teaching given by Buddha Sakyamuni right after his enlightenment. I wish also by my short sharing can leading yourself to making a good wish and action, whether you would like to join the path of self-liberation, to understand, identify our suffering, cause of suffering, the method of removing of the suffering, and the final is a path leading us to self-liberation. I wish you enjoy my short sharing of today, and wishing you to join me in the future. Thank you.